Good morning. Not good morning, good evening. I look like a hot mess. Which is fine. It's fine. So, I haven't checked in at all this week. This has been a very, very busy week for me. Very, very busy. And I'm looking at my list here. I actually haven't really even read much this week. And that's only because it was a busy week, and it's been a busy weekend, and so I only have 2 volumes that I've actually completed so far this week. So I read Asadora, Volume 1 by by Naoki Urasawa, which I really enjoyed. I ended up giving that one 4 stars. This one focuses on a young girl who is often forgotten because she has so many family members or so many siblings, and so no one remembers her name or who she is. And she accidentally gets kidnapped by this guy because he thinks that she is the daughter of a wealthy doctor, but she's only wearing the doctor's jacket because he went to go call him to let him know that her mother was in the process of giving birth to another baby. And when he kidnaps her, there's a typhoon that is coming through, and it ends up kind of destroying the place where they're at. And so they run to find shelter, and it's like this huge disaster. And she doesn't know like what happened to her family, but she's really adamant about working with community members to help those who've been impacted the most. And it kind of ends on a slight cliffhanger. So I went ahead and I put volumes 2 and 3 on hold. I'm excited to dive into the rest of that. I also end up reading Something's Wrong With Us Volume 6. What was that ending? I don't even have the words to describe what that ending was. I don't know how much more wild this series could get, but it appears that it can get wild. I can't 5 stars. I can't even tell you anything about it. So many spoilers. But I'm ready to dive into volume 7. I thought I had volume 7 checked out. It's probably downstairs. I don't know where it is. So I'm about to have a nice little manga reading sesh here. I'm 3 volumes behind where I need to be to finish out the 30, which is fine. I can catch up quick, but I am almost finished with Maison Ikoku, Volume 1 by Rumiko Takahashi. This is interesting. I'm not sure where I want to rate it yet, but I probably have about 50, I'd say anywhere between 50 to 75 pages left of that. I have some volumes of One Piece that I would like to dive into this evening. So I have volume 5, I have volume 6, and then I also have volume 7 of One Piece. And then I also brought Blue Lock volume 2 upstairs, which is my copy. Sweat and Suit volume 7, which I have not read any of this in a while, and I'm holding back on finishing that. Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost is one that I needed to continue to pick up. And then I randomly checked this one out from my library, which is Phantom of the Idol. Phantom of the Idol. No, I was about to say Phantom 2. Phantom of the Idol. So I have that huge stack. I'm going to see how much I can get through. And then what I will try to do is check in before I go to sleep. Because this vlog is not going to be very long. It's not going to, because all I have is tomorrow. And then that's pretty much it. So, I'm going to try to get y'all some content for this vlog. But I haven't been reading, and so hasn't been much for me to update you on. But hopefully after this evening, there will be more to update you on. Deuces. Hey y'all, so this is probably gonna be an interesting vlog. Most of this video is actually B-roll footage because I have been really busy over the past couple of weeks. I've been reading, but I've been busy over the past couple of weeks and just have been exhausted, and I've not really had the opportunity to check in the way that I wanted to check in. And so you got a heck of a lot of B-roll footage. There should have been like a 4-minute clip of me talking about whatever I was talking about, which at this point I don't even know what I talked about. Maybe I should play that clip and figure out what I was talking about. Okay, so after watching that clip, I have figured out that I did talk to you about Asadora Volume 1 and Something's Wrong With Us Volume 6. So I literally have not updated you on a huge stack of volumes that I've read. I have reached my 30 volumes at the time sitting down. So this has been over the course of 2 weeks. I have reached my 30. I probably am more than 30, which is fine. It's fine. I don't even know at this point whether or not it's been, I don't know. I do know that I at least reached 30, which is the most important thing here, is that I reached 30, but I literally have not done an update on anything. And I don't know if I'm potentially, after filming this clip, because once I film this clip, like, this is what's going to go into the final vlog. I am not going to stress myself out about finishing anything else and including it in this vlog. So we may just have to talk about this at a later date, but I do want to talk about the things that I have not discussed at all. Some of these I haven't even marked as it's a mess. It's been a mess. Okay, so the first thing that I was showing you through B-roll footage that I was reading that I did not end up talking about was Maison Ikoku Collector's Edition Volume 1 by Rumiko Takahashi. I did talk to Izzy about this one, and we agreed that I should count this one as 2 volumes. So I'm counting it as 2 volumes because this is a reprint of the original series, and the original series was in between 18 to 20 or something like that. So hopefully this is counting as 2. Either way. So this one was really great. I enjoyed it. It was 4 stars. It literally is a manga that is a romance of sorts, but not really. It's 2 main characters who are trying to figure out their relationship with each other, because our hero is working at attending school, and he's having trouble paying attention and getting and passing his entrance exams, and they get a new like house manager, and she's really attractive, and he's really attracted to her, but they just have these really strange interactions, and it's clear that the 2 of them have some feelings for each other, but she's holding on to a situation that she had in the past that later becomes aware to both him and readers, and I don't want to spoil that. And so it impacts how she views relationships in general. There's a little bit of a love triangle going on in this one, but overall I thought it was interesting. Very much so 80s manga, which I don't think I've read manga from the 80s per se, but it definitely had 80s vibes to it, and I'm interested in reading more from the series. I actually have volume 2 waiting for me at the library. I gave that one 4 stars. I ended up finishing, which I don't think I have my copy. Yes, I do. I say I don't have the copy that I thought I have. Okay, so I also ended up reading Yagi, the Bookshop Goat, which, this is by Tokyo Pop. I gave this one 3.5 stars. It wasn't my favorite. This is by Fumi Furukawa. This isn't my favorite, but it also wasn't like horrible. It is this world where, which I thought about it a little bit in terms of B stars, where we have animals who are herbivores and carnivores are separated from each other, and they're separated from each other in order to protect anyone from making any mistakes. And so you have this goat who wants to be a librarian, or wants to work in a bookshop, sorry. He wants to work in a bookshop, but he's a goat, and so he likes paper. And of course, everybody on the herbivore side is like, absolutely not. No, we would lose too much money behind you. And so there is this wolf that is willing to take him on in his bookshop, but it's in the carnivore zone. And so he's very protective of him. There is a connection between them that you learn about. This is a romance, but it's explicit, which I did not know that this was explicit, which I should have looked on the back because it clearly says M for mature, nudity, explicit sexual content, which didn't bother me at all. But I think when it happened, I was like, oh, so we're doing that. I didn't realize that was what that was. I think I just wanted a little bit more in terms of the world building, but I know that this is focused on their relationship. This is a boys love manga, and it was cute. It's very campy, very cute. I think if you like the idea of relationship dynamics between a goat and a wolf and how that would work, considering that the wolf would eat the goat in typical situations, then you would find this one pretty interesting, and their relationship to be rather charming. I also ended up reading, oh, if I can get this, don't fall, Candy and Cigarettes Volume 1, which was Chef's Kiss, okay? I like this, but I don't think that this is for everyone. This is another 4-star read for me. It follows an older gentleman who has worked as kind of like I don't want to say like a protector, but working like in a police department and being kind of a detail for someone. Like, he has experience doing that. And he ends up retiring. He's not really getting a good pension, and his grandson ends up having this illness that is costing his daughter lots and lots of money. And so the treatments alone are so expensive that it would just drain them and they wouldn't be able to keep up with it. And so he's essentially looking for another job in order to better support them through this process. And he ends up finding that there is this organization that kind of works underground-ish, kind of low-key. They're for the government, like they work for the government, but they're the organization that no one knows exists, and they do assassinations. What's twisted about this is that there is a little girl, she can't be more than like 10 or 11. She's also someone who does the assassinations, but there's a lot of discussion about like her trauma that has informed how she has been in a lot of ways manipulated to take on this role and has been coerced into being a killing machine. I think that you have to kind of look into the more complex themes of this one to really appreciate it. But it's not one that I would openly recommend to everyone because of those themes. But I enjoyed it, and I had this first volume, but I went and put the second volume on hold, and I think my library has the rest of the series, so I'm excited about that. I also ended up reading, ooh, if I can get this, don't fall, please don't fall. Oh, this beautiful, gorgeous book, Beauty and the Beast of Paradise Lost. Now, this is one that I may request my library to get because I am not buying books right now, and I really want to continue with this one. This is really good. This is like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, except there's definitely some twist about it. We have a main character whose mother gets taken away by this beast, and her father inevitably blames her for it because of her different color hair, which you can see on this is kind of like this purplish tint, which there's must be something about her hair. There's some connection to something about her hair because her father like always wanted her to cover it, and when her mother passed away, he just became extremely abusive and cruel towards her. And so she is trying to find her mother, and she comes across what she thought was the beast, not really the beast, and then she ends up meeting the real beast, who has the most dry sense of humor, which I absolutely enjoy. And she gets basically sucked into the world a little bit, and she learns more about what's kind of going on in the background, but not really. She doesn't exactly know everything that's going on, but you can appreciate the storytelling in this, and the art is fantastic. And it ended in a place where I'm like, I really want to pick up volume 2, so I may fill out a suggestion for purchase myself for that one, because that's one that I really want to read. Okay, so we have 2 here that are actually extremely polarizing. Like, they're extremely polarizing books, which is, I don't know if it's unfortunate or not, but they're polarizing. Okay, so I'm going to talk about, let's talk about this one first, because I really enjoyed this one. This is, she loves to cook, she loves to eat. This is the second volume, which was really, really good. I talked about the first volume because I read the first volume for, I think I read the first volume for this round of 30 and 30, and I really enjoyed it. And it literally is focused on these two characters. She loves to cook, but often cooks too much and she has no one to eat it, and so she kind of relies on her neighbor to eat all the food. And clearly this is Yuri. There's a relationship that's forming between the two of them, and people are not accepting of them family wise. So there's a content warning for homophobia in this one, but they're so sweet, y'all. It's such a sweet and charming series. I think that in this one we get the kind of realization for one of the characters that they do have feelings for the other, and now they're trying to figure out like how to deal with those feelings. They've come to terms with their identity, but they really want to be with the other person. And I don't want to tell you who, you know, comes to realization, because I think that's a little bit of a spoiler, but they do end up coming to the realization and they want to be with this other person. And I think that that's like, it's beautiful. This is really, really beautiful. And I cannot wait to pick up the rest of the series, which I'm excited that my library is buying that series. Okay, now this one, which I had been reading, and I finally picked up volume 4. I've owned volume 4 for a while, and I just got to it literally for 30 and 30 this month, and that's Fire in His Fingertips volume 4. I have very mixed feelings about volume 4. I'm gonna give it 3 stars. This one was tough for me because I think that there is some dubious consent in this, and I don't like that it was in direct relationship to power dynamics and our hero being jealous of a previous relationship with the heroine. I can't really dive into it because I don't really want to spoil anything about it, but the emotional immaturity is not something that I actively enjoyed in this whatsoever. I did not like it. And there's a love triangle that's introduced, which does make sense. The love triangle doesn't bother me, but I think that both men that are part of the love triangle are shitty humans. And so because I feel that way, it made it kind of hard to really appreciate the storytelling of this one. Because I don't like, unless it's agreed upon, it's a conversation prior to engaging in sexual activity. I don't like sex being used as a power, I don't want to say like a power struggle, but it felt like using it to release aggression and anger towards the other person. And it wasn't done in a way that was like, oh, this is hot makeup sex. It didn't feel that way. It felt like I'm pissed and angry, and so I'm going to use my power to dominate. And I didn't like that. So gave that one 3 stars. I'm not in a rush to continue the series right now. I don't think we get the next volume for a while anyway, but I'm not in a complete rush. Let's see here. The next ones, I read another 7 Seas title, steamship title, which was Game Between the Suits. I owned this one for a while and hadn't had the chance to read it, and it was, I mean, it was okay. It was decent. I think I'm gonna go with 3.5 for this one. It's not really plot heavy. It's focusing on a woman who, she is such a workaholic that her relationships suffer as a result of her being a workaholic. And so she meets this guy who can pretty much appreciate that she's a workaholic, and they work together and they begin this game where they're both trying not to lose, they're trying not to fall for each other. But of course, I'm sure that's going to be different. I think that this one is very much so a volume that is about setting up the story and not so much in terms of delivery. I am looking forward to reading more of this. This is another one that I'm going to have to buy myself because I know that my library doesn't have it. So I don't know when I'm going to be able to get back into that story. But yeah, it just, you know, maybe soon. I also ended up reading another one that I had sitting on my shelf that I had not read, and that was If I Could Reach You. I literally have one more volume to read in this, and I am not going to break the bank on getting it right now because I'm just not going to do it to myself. I don't know. There's literally nothing that I can say about this. This is 3 stars, y'all. Like, I don't know. I don't know. There's some interesting things here, like where the story itself, if you did not know anything about If I Could Reach You, is, I don't even know technically if it can be considered Yuri because it's very one-sided. It is a young girl who falls in love with her brother's wife, so her sister-in-law. And, you know, it's a lot of complications in that. But this one specifically focuses on the wife and some issues within her own marriage and some issues that she's had with friends. And it focuses on her past life, and I hated everybody. So, like, literally, there was one specific friendship that was focused in this book. I didn't like her friend or whatever, because they're cool. What's weird about it is that they're cool in the present, and I'm like, but girl, how could you not see the issues with her and the screwed up stuff that she did to you? Okay, I'm done. Oh, here's another one that I can't really talk about. Something's Wrong with Us, Volume 7. Can't say anything about it. 5 stars. Literally cannot say anything about it, but it's a 5-star read. This series is absolutely absurd, okay? The most absurd things happen in this series, and I'm here for it all, honey. I'm here for it all. It's messy, and I love it. I love the mess. I did end up reading Asadora Volume 2 by Urasawa. So good. So good. 5 stars for me. She is I enjoy this series. It is based on the actual typhoon, and I'm looking up the year, in 1959. So this is based off of the actual typhoon that happened, but there's almost like this sci-fi-ish element to it that I was not anticipating, and it does impact it. I think that she just has this gumption about her, this power, this willingness to stand up for herself, and in a moment where I would expect her to kind of fall apart, she's so resilient. And I think this speaks well to like how some kids are just very, very resilient. And even in the face of possible grief, she's just like, I'm doing what I need to do. I'm not giving up hope. Like, I'm never going to give up hope. And I think that that's just such a beautiful thing. This does have a time jump in it, which I thought was really interesting because the first volume was so much focused on when she was younger. And this jumps forward went to when she turns 17. And so I'm interested to see how the rest of the story is going to progress. I do have volume 3 upstairs, so I may try to like squeeze it in before 1330 is officially over, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure. And the last thing that I ended up finishing, child, let me tell y'all something about Junji Ito, okay? This man loves patterns, and he loves body horror. And I do not do good with either. Because when I see body horror that is in the shape of patterns, I'm starting to fucking itch now. This book had me lit up. I was itching the entire time. This is a short story collection, and it was just fascinating. I love the social commentary that was included in this collection. I love that we got author's commentary, like at the end of each story. He wrote kind of this author's note about where he was and what headspace he was in when he wrote the stories. A lot of this, you know, has to do with the idea of control, beauty, power, fear, identity. There's just a lot that is encompassed in this collection, and I actually ended up reading this for our patron theme for the month, which was horror, and I hadn't read anything really that was horror. I was like, oh, I'll just pick up a Junji Ito book. So I decided to read Shiver, and it was good. It's 4 stars, but I think I'm gonna have to, I have a lot of Junji Ito stuff. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th work of his that I own. And so I, child, I don't know how I'm going to do with this, but we are going to, we're gonna work through this. We're gonna take this slow. This is a 4-star collection. It just master of horror here. Like, I understand why everybody loves Ito, but oh my gosh, like the way that I just itched and it was disgusting. But that is it, y'all. Like, that's all I'm gonna cover for this vlog. Like, like I said, I have enough time where I could read a couple more volumes, but I don't know, they definitely won't be in this vlog. But I do have this beautiful stack to show you, which is going to be my thumbnail. But yeah, I hope y'all have enjoyed 30 and 30. Thank you so much to everyone who has participated. Thank you to Shay and Izzy for including me and Bree in this round. And I'm happy and looking forward to the next time we do this, which should be in November of this year. So start thinking about what you want to do. I'm going to be like Bree here. When we did sprints this past weekend, Bree was like, I'm going to use May to kind of catch up on some stuff. And I think I'm going to do the same too. I don't want to just, you know, quit. And be like, okay, 30's done, I'm done with reading manga. Which I read manga all throughout the year, but 30 and 30 is when I definitely like hone in on reading manga. But there are a couple of series that I want to continue reading, like Something's Wrong With Us, because my library has all of that. Asadora, and Candy and Cigarettes. So those are ones that I definitely want to continue. But there were a couple that I wanted to do that I didn't get to, which is perfectly fine. That is a-okay. I have the rest of the year to try all that stuff out. Let me know how you did for 30 and 30 in the comments down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. And if you're looking for ways to follow me on social media, all the links will be down in the description box below. And I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.